Hello and welcome to Manuel Goes Racing, and today we're back in AMS2 having a look at the next part of the drop from the 1.4.5.2 build. Now this is going to be having a look in at the I'll try using English, shall I? This will be having a look at the Supercars Part 1 DLC, which comprises the McLaren Senna, the Brabham BT62, and they're in the Hypercars class, and the Corvette C8 Z06, which is added to the Supercars class. Now, if I remember rightly, the Supercars class is effectively a new class. The street cars were renamed to Supercars. I think there's only one car left in street cars, which is the Camaro? Camaro? Corvette. There's a car. I think what I'll do is the same as I did last time with the free content, and that's just do 2 lap races around. I think we'll go with Silverstone modern version because they're all modern cars. Purely on a basis, it's got a nice combination of corners to play with, so that should suit most things. Right, I think we'll start with the what in theory should be the slowest car, as is in the Supercars, not Hypercars. The street cars is Chevy Camaro. That was it. What did I say? I said Corvette, didn't I? My brain. Right, the Chevrolet Corvette. Selection of liveries, presumably they're the colours you can get it in. We'll go with a waiting yellow. Let's have a look in the showroom. It should look quite nice. There has actually just been, about 10 minutes ago, a little drop of some more updates. Just trying to remember what was updated. Hang on, I'll press a button over here. Hopefully that won't show up in the thing. Corrected the physics for Nissan R89C and R390 low downforce variants. I don't know what they got wrong in the physics, but they got something wrong, obviously. Corvette Z06 C8 Z06. I'm just reading what it says. Adjusted to minor modelling details. Don't know what that is. Minor adjustments to pitch sensitivity and centre of pressure. And a reduction in max steering lock range. I think somebody was saying it got 36 degrees maximum steering lock, which is like how far your front wheels can move left and right. That's a hell of a range. An updated daily weather data from December 28th to January the 2nd. Apparently. Right, so quite a pretty looking car. I'm trying to think what it reminds me of, because it looks a bit Ferrari-esque, which may be a big insult to one or the other. But there you go. Interesting detailing, sculpting, etc. So, pretty little car. I'm not a huge fan of road cars in racing games, I have to say. So, take anything I say with a pinch of salt, basically. Nah, there's no reason why, especially a high performance car with potentially downforce, big grippy tyres, shouldn't feel reasonable. It tends to be a case of, obviously, the less traction and grip a tyre has got, the less you get fed through your FFB. Now, it probably helped that I got a better quality wheel than I had before, so what I'll be feeling is probably better. Also, hopefully, the FFB, the dialed in for these, feels quite good. So here we go, couple of laps. I'm not going to worry about the setup or anything. Just drive around, usual thing, not too fast on the first lap, a bit faster on the second one. It is a bit quiet. Either that or I've accidentally turned the volume down on my brakes. Are the brakes going to work? Yeah, just about. It's actually quite heavy steering on the front end, and I thought I went for first gear, but it's obviously very low. Bit of understeer. It was pushing, no surprise, as I would expect it to be. It'll brake a little bit early because his brakes aren't great, I have to say. But so far it actually feels quite good. It feels quite planted. A little bit prone to wanting to push the front a lot. Hopefully whatever they've just changed on it will mean that it's less prone to trying to swap ends on the brakes, which it felt a little bit prone to do. It was like when you came off the brakes, it was pitching up and throwing the back end at the scenery. So if they've changed the pitch sensitivity a bit and stopped it pitching quite so much into there, I think the first time I tried it around here, I actually literally threw it at the scenery. I just got off the brakes, started to turn a little bit, and the back end just went, yeah, see ya. It does actually feel slightly more planted now, I have to say, so that's good. Get off the grass. But yeah, nice amount of heft to the wheel. Not too... It does feel like the brakes don't want to work though, so whether that's just a bit too much ABS, but it sounds like they're trying to lock up. But it is very quiet. It's apparently got a loud mode. Yeah, that's much better. It's much more stable on the brakes. It just doesn't want to rotate on the power. It just wants to push. So very patient on the throttle. Oh, a little bit of rotation as I came off the brakes. Not too bad though. But it was more in the slow speed corners it was actually a problem. So that feels like they've actually done something to make it a little better. I just want it to, I want it to be able to power through and turn a bit, but it's not, it's just pushing. But that's no surprise, it is meant to be a road car, so you hope the default would be reasonably safe. Definitely doesn't feel like the brakes are great, but there again, it's a road car. It is quite prone to sitting on the traction control. I think all the road cars are a bit like that. They spend all the time on the traction control. Even with very, very little throttle as you're going through there, for example. But yeah, nicely balanced it feels. Certainly better than it was. And when I say better than it was, I mean better than it was 2 hours ago when I was just trying it out for a couple of laps. So whatever they've done, they've improved it. I like the little heads-up display. I just want it to be a bit bigger and a bit higher up actually, but now just about get it to rotate if I just nudge the throttle on or off a bit. But that's nicely planted now. What sort of lap time were we going to do? That's not great. I can't remember what I did earlier. 2:17. That might be good, it might be bad. Whatever. But yeah. Actually feels quite nice now. Like I said previously, it felt a little bit... come on. Give me the I want to save it button. Why are you not giving me a I want to save it button? Have you saved it already? No. That was a little bizarre. Actually sounds better from outside the car than inside. Like I said, you can see I was struggling a bit to get on the throttle there. yeah, it sounds nice outside. Actually, like I said, sounds better than it does from inside the car, which is right. Next up, we'll go Hypercars. So we did a 217 something in that. Now we'll go with the Senna first. Just comparing these two cars, this is like £3,000. That's 2,300. That's 400 kilos difference or something. And 130 odd horsepower. This thing, no, I didn't actually make it select it. I was going to go with a Senna first. This thing, that weight is about 10% more than the Fiat Panda that's sitting on my driveway. And that's about 11 and a bit times as much power. So it's got a lot of grunt for the weight. It's like the Panda is not a heavy car. That's obviously not a heavy car either. So this thing's a little bit more weighty. I don't know what the weight distribution's like. A little bit more forward biased. Or is that rear biased? I think it's forward biased, isn't it? I would hope. Is that front or back? Any road up. Let's drive the bloody thing and see what it's like. I'm just trying to remember, was the Senna a derivative of the 720S, or was it a completely separate? It was a completely separate car, wasn't it? I think it was based on some of the things I learned from the 720S, but any road up. It's got lots of wings on it, and it should, you'd have thought, go like stink. So let's see what it does. A little bit squirrely off a line. Well, the immediate thought is it actually feels a little bit more less planted than the previous car we were looking at. It's trying to rotate there, but in a really slightly bizarre way. Right, brake at a reasonable point. Oh, that feels like it's locking the fronts there. And then it's trying to rotate. Steering feels a bit light on it compared with the Corvette. So yes, slightly strange. That first touch on the brakes, it sounds like it's trying to lock up. Is that just before the ABS kicks in? I'm not really sure. I mean, it feels reasonably solid on the front end. It sort of more or less feels like it's going where I'm pointing. Although it's a bit wayward. Sort of understeered a bit there. Now it feels like it's trying to rotate on the power. There, it's a really nice turn in there. I just felt like if I pushed the throttle any harder there, it was just going to sort of go mad and rotate a huge amount. I felt a little bit, like I said, just doesn't feel planted. It's floaty. It's not there and stuck to the ground like the previous car was. Which, considering this probably has or is meant to have a lot more downforce, and I don't know what sort of tyres they got on this compared with the other one. Presumably the same sort, something very similar. It's almost like this thing's set up to be a bit too flighty and it's not working for it. If I stick a wheel on the grass, I'm not sure. Again, it's starting to feel like it wanted to rotate and then decided not to. That's not not as nice. Definitely not as nice. We've gone up a class in car, possibly a little bit too much oomph for the tyres. I don't know. I don't know how many different types of street tyre I've got. I know in Project Cars 2 they made sort of 4 or 5 different street cars for the different classes of car, because obviously something with 800 horsepower probably needs something a bit more solid than something with no downforce and 400 horsepower or something. So it's okay. It's not great. I mean, it turns in okay. It just feels like once you get to about here, it's starting to rotate, but is it going to overdo it? But overall, I mean, it's not too bad. I just remembered, did I forget to have a look in the showroom? I think I did, didn't I? I mean, what's the lap time? I mean, it's quick enough. 2089 is 9 seconds faster than the previous guy we were looking at. So, did I look in the showroom? I'm asking. Are you answering? Not sure that I did. Skip the cooldown lap. It's come up with a save straight away this time. Right, I'm not sure. Did I check? I will go in the showroom, and if I did do it earlier, memory like a sieve. If I did do it earlier, I will. I think I got sidetracked by starting to compare the numbers, didn't I? So yeah, we'll just we'll go in the showroom for this one. And I mean, it's not. It's in some ways it's a little bit busier in places. I mean, the rear wing's a bit. As it's sort of almost double element, plus some of the weirdness with the sort of multi levels of tray at the back there. I mean, overall, it's not bad looking. Probably looks better from the front than it does from the back. Again, slightly weird wing. Now, did it actually have DRS on them? Or did it have some sort of automatic wing control? Just trying to remember whether they put some weird stuff on it. McLaren are prone to put some stuff on there like that. It looks like it's got hinges on it, so I'm assuming it's meant to be able to move around a bit. Whether it's meant to be automatic and hasn't been implemented, and that's part of what the problem is, I don't know. These are questions to be asked and probably never to be answered. Well, certainly not by me anyway. So yeah, nicely modelled. Can't deny that. It's a hell of a phone holder, isn't it? God blimey. So now that we've had a look at that one in the showroom, we'll have a look at the next one in the showroom. You've got see-through doors. I mean, why? This thing just looks like a brute. I have to admit, it's the fact it's in matte black as well. It's just like, I'm gonna eat your children, and then I'm gonna rip your throat out. I mean, it's actually a very pretty car. You know, it's got that slightly angular look to it that gives it that edge. It's not everything rounded nicely. It's a bit of a nice combination of sort of some angular bits and some round bits. So yeah, but it's very meaningful looking as well as very mean looking. Big lump of, is that just double element rear wing? Yes, definitely got the look of a car that says, I'm gonna kill you. But has it got the feel to match? We'll find out. I don't know what we got in the way of colours. Ooh, some pretty colours. Just trying to remember what Brabham's official colours were. From Jack's original cars. We'll go with black. Whoosh. Nah. Go with a green. Should we go with a green? Go with black. I will go mean. Mean black car. Like I said, lots of grunt. 680 horsepower is more than enough for anybody, so why the Senna needs quite that much more, I don't know. Only only 6 speed as opposed to 7 or 8 speed, which the previous two were. So let's drive. A little bit of a snaky take off there. Oh god, that's really solid and so just feels so positive after the Senna. Can't quite see where I'm going. I think I'm sitting closer to the wheel in this than I was in the Senna. Rotates. Certainly rotates, but it didn't feel like it was getting away. It just rotated nicely. Oh god, the brakes are a lot better as well. So it's a really nice positive turn in. Holds the front end quite well through Luffield there. Feels like it's got a bit of rotation as you come through there. I see the brakes feel pretty good. Probably didn't want to go down 2 gears there, one would have been more than enough. Such a positive front end on it, and the back end follows it nicely. It doesn't feel like it's got any of that nasty flickiness to it, like it's having problems with weight transfer or the dampers or something, so really well planted. It actually feels like it's on slicks compared with street cars on the other cars, so street tyres on the other cars I should say. Might be a bit over ambitious there on the brakes. It's just nicely balanced. It's doing what I want it to. We won't be too greedy with that corner. You turn in, you give it some throttle and it just rotates really nicely. We'll try about 75. Could have gone later than that, I think. A little bit of rotation on the brakes there, but not excessive and not bad, so feels quite nice. It's giving me a fair old workout. I'm getting a sweat up. I should have took my jumper off before I started, but there we go. We'll try going just 1 gear. Not sure if 1 was enough, or 2, or whether I didn't turn in early enough. Oh shite! What was I saying about not over-rotating? Bit ham-fisted from me there, but that'll ruin your lap time. I was getting a bit over-enthusiastic on the throttle there. Let it get away a bit. Just a little transition flick that it has in some of the cars coming out of the Maggots Beckett's complex. 203.7. Oh, that was probably losing a second somewhere. I think I did was it a 201? 3 earlier today, something like that, so it was nowhere near as quick. Yes, that's, of the 3 cars, that's way and far away the best one. If I had to put them in order, I better just make sure I sounds mean. Spitting flames everywhere. Well, that's definitely a mad lad, isn't it? Yes, if I had to put them in order, I think the Brabham would definitely be the one you'd want to drive the most. And then surprisingly, the Corvette and then the Senna last. The Senna just feels a little bit like it's not really planted properly, which is quite surprising because I thought it was meant to have a hell of a lot of downforce. So whether it needs some tweaks, but 3 nice cars. I don't know what else is going to be in the hypercar class. There's obviously going to be a part 2 and or part 3, 4, 6, 8, 12. I don't know. But yeah, nice additions. Certainly that thing is mental. If you get it hooked up properly, it's as quick as a GT3 car around Silverstone. I didn't get hooked up quite properly there. Obviously, still waiting for my tea to go down. I haven't had a nice pizza, so probably could have done with a rest first or a sleep or something. But as it stands, that's great. The Senna, not bad, and I think the surprise of the 3 was probably the Corvette. It was much more planted than it felt earlier. So obviously, whatever they've done to it in that little update they did, changing the centre of pressure on the aero and the pitch sensitivity, has made a large difference. It before it felt like it was always trying to sort of flick in on the brakes as you came off the brakes and turned in. It was whereas now it's much better. So hopefully they can do something to improve the Senna as well, because it's quick enough. I don't know what sort of range there should be between the Brabham and the Senna, but it feels quick enough. It just feels like it's not really solidly planted like you'd expect of a sort of a hypercar. You'd expect a hypercar to be planted. Feels almost like a race car. That just feels a bit squirrely, bit loose. So overall though, 3 nice additions to it. And if you race single car, I mean the Brabham's obviously quite a bit quicker than the Senna, so you wouldn't necessarily pick, given the choice between the two, you wouldn't necessarily pick the Senna. I don't know whether it's quicker on a straight line or anything, so if you were in a drag race, maybe you would. Who knows? But another 3 nice vehicles to add. Next up will be the Brazilian Racing Legends Part 1, but that'll be tomorrow, I suspect, before I get around to doing that one. Got things to do. So for now, enjoy your racing, have fun. I'll see you soon. Goodbye. Where's my button?